Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we are playing Grixis Tempo. That's right, we've got Molten Collapse as our sole red card in the main, but we have some powerful sideboard cards. We've got 3 Pyroblasts, we've got another Molten Collapse, and we've got Meltdown for artifact mashups. Now, Pyroblast is very strong right now because there's so many blue decks, and I just love being able to interact with them on the stack. Stop Nadu, stop Kaito. Speaking of Kaito, Kaito's in the house, of course. We've got some Mercs up in here. We've got some Baragouis chilling in the sideboard, ready to come in as soon as the coast is clear, and it's like a more grindy matchup. We have, of course, the awesome interaction of Days, Wastelands, and Force of Wills. We've got the 4 Fatal Push on top of the Molten Collapse, so 5 main deck removal spells. I've got a main deck Nile Spellbomb because graveyard strategies are everywhere, and at the very least, we cantrip through and make our Goyfs a little bit bigger. And this is a 4 Goyf, 4 Tamiyo Express Train. We're going to try to ride those plus the occasional Bowmaster trap to victory. And worst case scenario, we can grind out. We've got a Brazen Borrower to bounce. Problematic permanents like Leyline of the Void, I can imagine would be a pretty annoying one. And we're just going to play pretty perfect mana. Again, when you add the third color, we're adding the Valk in the Badlands. You do kind of give up a little bit of consistency. So we went down to 3 Wastelands to that end. And we're just basically playing an extra colored source. But we still have the basic island, even if we don't have the basic swamp. We do not have Harbinger of the Sea, and I've been running into a lot of lands. That is kind of concerning, but Kaito is very good against land strategies because he's very hard to interact with. So hopefully that'll work out, and hopefully these 3 Thoughtseizes will protect us from fast combo. I'm very excited to hopefully shred some combo decks and maybe shred some control decks as well, but hopefully to win the tempo mirrors because these red cards really do break the mirror open. It's pretty exciting. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against a likely Maverick player. Very exciting to see some of that archetype. They're a fair gamer. If they are indeed on this, if they are indeed on a fair deck, I think this hand is great. We've got creature interaction. Netherglyph's a good card. We can open with the city, and if they don't get rid of that, then we can develop Bowmasters. Yeah, but they were playing like a while back. They were playing like a while back. This was 4 days ago. I mean, like there are so many tasty Bowmaster targets in this deck. Thoughtseize, yeah. Now they're oh wait, they're not on this. They're on something else. They could be on Beanstalk. Yeah. Well, we have a very good anti-Beanstalk hand in these double Bowmasters. So they took the Fatal Push. Interestingly, what are they on? Are they on tempo? I'm gonna keep that. One of the ways we fail is our mana gets collapsed. And now we have access to both Swamp and Island. Tamiyo, okay. So they may have like a Brainstorm here, which makes me want to wait until they attempt to Brainstorm. We could just Bowmaster, but they may have their own Bowmaster. Because like, why would they leave us with Bowmaster? If they have Brainstorm, it's pretty bad. I could just push it a second time. No, wait, I don't have I only have 1 push now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play out the Goyf so that I have something on board to pressure. And then if they go to Brainstorm to flip, I can attempt to push. It's shaky. If they just get a clue, I'll just accept it. I think now I want to go ahead and just see if I can push. Because I do want to get rid of that. Oh, I don't have a freaking basic island in this deck. Never mind. Or a basic swamp. Well, I guess I'll just I'll take this opportunity to grab another one, a redundant one. I'm just going to go ahead and push here. And they probably just Daze. But that does mean that they don't have, well, it doesn't really mean anything. Why do we even play Thoughtseize? My opponent said. All right. So we got rid of their thing, and my thing can come back later, but theirs can't. So scoreboard. Also, they're down to 4 cards, 3 cards. So we're on the draw, so we have more cards. That's how Magic works. We could Thoughtseize them and then have Bowmaster up. I like that. They don't seem to have Daze. I'll see whether they have a Bowmaster here. Okay, Kaito is definitely something I'd like to get rid of. They could just play it, but we can pressure it. You know, if they just play it, I'll just freaking ping it with Bowmaster. I kind of want to just play out the Bowmaster here. So if we play out Bowmaster, let's think about this. We play out Bowmaster. It's no big deal. We could just go get yet another Underground Sea, and we got a very consistent mana base here that they can't really disrupt. We're not going to draw red. We've got a single red card in our entire deck. So I'll just get the other Underground Sea, and I'll just go ahead and play out the Bowmaster. Then if they draw a cantrip, they can't cast it. They're not going to cast it into our Bowmaster anyway. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And then they have to choose between like playing out the Kaito and wasting us. Yeah, I'm just going to do this now. So they can't like get clever with like timing a Brainstorm if they draw it. So if you're ever wondering why people main phase it, there is value. So if they don't waste here, then I'm just going to bring back Nethergoyf. And I'll have a baby Nethergoyf. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, yeah, this is fine. So I ping and then I attack for 4. And Kaito's very low. Or I could just borrow him out of play. Oh, man. Like, the problem is... So we hit for 3. He's at 1 loyalty. I've got force up, though, if I do that. The other option is... Yeah, I think we just keep pressing. I don't care if they attack. Like, they're... I'm about to take this guy down, and I've got so much Bowmaster on the table. They'll probably waste me, which will take me off. We're going to come in for a hug. They won't be able to stun anything either. So they're going to have to put a body down. They can absorb all this, and I can bounce it out of the way and just attack for lethal. They have 2 cards. They can come in, but they can't do the Surveil trick unless they want to take massive damage. Okay. You're welcome to do that. I don't advise it, but you're welcome to do it. I'm not going to resist it. So we'll go ahead and ping them twice. Okay. And they may very well have a Bowmaster in hand, but we'll just kill it. We'll force it. I'm going to max damage on them. We'll see what they do here. If it's a Bowmaster, I'll force. If it's like some other blocker, I don't know what they would do. Like a Fatal Push on this one. There's the Bowmaster. It's going to get forced. They could force back. That would be devastating. Okay, we won. Yeah. All right. Beating the mirror on the draw. Feels good. Molten Collapse most definitely comes in. Pyroblast comes in. I think Baraglyphs also come in. Thoughtseize comes out. I think some number of Dazes come out. We can take all the Dazes out. And then we have Force for emergency situations like the one we faced. Oh, now Spellbomb comes in for sure. This card's really good here because it just keeps Nethergoyf and Baraglyph in check. Maybe we take out the forces as well, and we just become like a mid-range deck with minimal control-y elements. Now we have to ask what's better, a force or a daze. I think it is better to have a force just as a one-of. I don't see any other cards that come out. Let's do it. This is exciting. I'm glad we get to like go mirror game 1. I just want to point out my opponent Thoughtseize me and I drew the right card. And they're like, why do we even play Thoughtseize? And then I Thoughtseize and I took away like one of their critical cards. And this is, I guess, why do I even play Thoughtseize? I got the Thoughtseize luck. They didn't. All right. This canned is fine. It's not exceptional. We are vulnerable to waste here, but I'm going to just Island Ponder. Or I guess Underground Sea Ponder here. Looks like my opponent's doing the same. Land would be great. All right. I'm not going to complain until next turn. Give me my land. You owe it to me, deck. Do not deny me. Well, that's a shuffle, and that is a green light for our opponent to start wasting us. This sucks. This does happen. Island Ponder keep is not like the safest. Okay. Wow. We got lucky there. Okay. So we're going to be very careful, and we're not going to play the first Bowmaster. They're going to play the first Bowmaster. I'm tempted to just force this because I've got so many cantrips in hand, and this card is just... It just solos us. And if they daze, it'll be a beating. Yeah. I don't think Tamio's particularly strong here. Oh, I'm going to pitch a Brainstorm because this card is not good if they are able to force this through. Okay. And they are with a daze, no less. So, yeah. And we took a risk. We're on the draw. It's a rough place to be. Okay. So here. Okay. The land makes it a lot easier. A lot easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play out both the Tamio and the Nethergoyf this turn. I'm just going to get the Underground Sea and hide for the time being that I have red in my deck. I can get it later. I don't want to get wasted off of it. This Goyf is quite sizable. This Tommy going to my graveyard makes my Goyf even more substantial if they'd like to daze that too. Okay, they don't. I'm optimistic that eventually I will be able to clear this. I have lots of interaction for it, and then I'll be able to cash in my clues. And I don't care about preserving Tamio because if she dies, she buffs the Goyf and expedites the Goyf's return from the grave, which is something that would have happened had the previous game gone on a little bit longer. There's the Wasteland that we were waiting for. So we already know we're not going to be using our Wastelands offensively this game. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I think they chose the wrong target, frankly. Okay. Merc. It's a good card. I'm tempted to just ponder here. They're not going to daze it and just try to line up another land because Murky is going to be huge. And they don't have a lot of main deck ways to deal with it like we do. Okay, this is perfect. Perfect. This is incredible. Okay, so I want all these cards. And I guess it makes sense to attack this turn because we're not going to be able to attack subsequent turns. Because, I mean, I could just ignore the Bowmaster. I know that sounds weird, but this Baragoyf is going to be freaking insane. So I'm going to do it like this, and I'll just try to they get a ping. Pinging me. I think it probably makes sense to just hold up because I'm going to, if I'm the aggressor here, I do have another Baragoyf coming down, and I have a Murktide. I hit them for 4. They hit me for 3. But if I just hang back, they don't attack at all. Yeah, I'll just be patient. The best thing they could do is waste me. That would really gum up the works. And then I would fetch away the Fatal Push probably. Okay, they're not wasting me here. They could have a Merc though. Merc would be pretty big. Shield's Edict. That's unfortunate. I'm not going to lie, but I'll be jamming a Baragoyf next turn, and hopefully that'll stick. Let's go ahead and Barrow. Baragoyf is absolutely a mirror breaker. I am going to go for another Underground Sea. I'm just going to continue to hide until I find a red card. Also, this slightly disincentivizes them. Please don't have the daze. Daze would be huge here. Okay, great. We have a big creature that gains life that they have to block. They've already used a Fatal Push and a Shield's Edict. They could have a Brazen Borrower. They could have Kaito. This is a giant Merc. That's fine. I too have a giant Merc. My Merc is not as giant. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can make it not as big. All right. There's a Goyf. I'm tempted to swing in because if I can trade, that's great. And they have to block. And if they block, then I can just Merc. It's smaller though. I don't think they're going to block with Merc. They'll probably block with the army and I'll gain some life. Okay, that worked out well. Now, if we do Merc, it shrinks my dude. So I don't want to do that. I think I'm just going to drop another Goyf and we're kind of racing. Because we're actually, Baragoyf can race this. If they start attacking, it's also worth noting that I can make both of these bigger if I brainstorm. It's not something I want to do though. That's fine. They may use this as a chump and just try to force through the damage with Merc, but that would be a mistake. They should not attack me. Okay. Now we have a lot of land. Kind of want to hide the land. I think I'm just going to come in with the Baragoyf again. Baragoyf is really strong in the mirror. They're fetching. Okay, do they have a Fatal Push here? Surveilling. It may seem crazy, but Baragoyf is so strong here that it may make sense to brainstorm to try to find a force. Okay. I will take that trade. So I gain some life. You lose your Merc. I think I'm just going to do a Merc. Dodge. Yeah, I'll play this out, and I'm just going to blue, colorless. And I'm going to make them think I have a Pyroblast, which I don't have. Merc, and we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. So earlier I said that I can make my thing bigger by brainstorming. I couldn't. That was wrong. I'm going to choose Force here because it's easier to, if I absolutely have to brainstorm. Okay, so this is not that big. It's a 4/4, but it's big enough to deter them attacking with Tommy. And next turn I can start attacking with Nethergoyf. And I do have 4 card types, so I could blow the whole yard to bring it back in Nethergoyf if I absolutely needed to. If they draw back-to-back removal. I'm just waiting around to draw a Bowmaster of my own. Dismember, that's fine. They do have an attack here. This Bowmaster has been very consequential in the game. If they flip her, I have 3 blasts that answer her in my deck. Clue. Okay, that's fine. Just immediately drawing it. All right, that means we can proceed with this turn without having to worry too much about interaction. I'm just going to come in. I'm racing them. I'll hold this for brainstorm fodder later, just in case of an emergency. I'm not going to bring back Nethergoyf because it just makes this Nethergoyf so piddly. They are drawing 2 cards a turn now, so I do expect them to win this game and gradually outdraw me. But if we find a Bowmaster, it does break things open. They are not quite to Hardcast Force mode. They are cracking the clues. No, they're not. They're waiting. They're probably going to try to flip her next turn. I'm just going to keep attacking. Sadly, I Brainstorm into Bowmaster is such a bad play that it does not make sense to do it here. Okay, now how do I feel about it? Because I could Brainstorm now or forever hold my peace. This hand is terrible. Yeah, I'm going to do it. And if they have another Bowmaster in their hand, it's just utter annihilation. So we did find the Pyroblast, and we found double Bowmaster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to Bowmaster them twice, because that's what I should do. I'm going to put this back. I'll draw this later. I'll put this on top. Now I've got Bowmaster and Force Up. I'll let this come in. Let them decide how they want to do this. So that is going to give them a pretty big dude that they can potentially block with. That's fine. This comes in. That pings me. This gets even bigger. But if they... we'll see how they block. I will accept that. All right, so what I think I do here is I just wait till the end step, they crack the clue, and I snipe both of these. They don't do it. Okay, so if they do it during their main phase, like they're going to probably try to flip her, then I can do it. I'm just going to be patient. This is a nightmare. This is not what I signed up for. Now they have a Bowmaster in hand. I am going to wait until they use the Kaido ability, and then I'll Bowmaster. So let's go ahead and do this. I have another one on top. I'm still not in the driver's seat by any means. They force. Well, now I am going to Pyro. I wanted to Pyro this, but I need to get this through. Do they have a Daze as well? Okay, so we're coming in. We're going to ping this. Now they get to Surveil, and they have to draw, so they can't avoid that. We're going to ping them. We're going to be able to attack for a lot here. Next turn, what do they have here? Fatal Push. That's fine. I already got the trigger. So they take a damage. This gets bigger. Oh, that does mean that this... No, wait. I can still kill it. It sucks, but it leaves them with Bowmaster Supremacy, sadly. But I do want to get Kaito off the table. All right, and I am going to go ahead and just bring back another Goyf here. Okay, so... Creature... Land... Instant... Sorcery. Small. It's like a 3-4, 2-3. Yeah, it's better than nothing. So now they Bowmaster my dude. They can draw a bunch of cards. They can keep Tomioing. It sucks. But like I do think getting rid of Kaito there was pretty important. So now we draw another removal spell. We get free of this Bowmaster. We're drawing Brainstorm, unfortunately. They're going to go ahead and draw. Okay. We are pressuring them quite a bit. We have the biggest creature on the board. So we draw our card that we can't cast. I mean, in theory, we could... No, we only have 2 card types. I'm going to attack with both. I'm just going to try to tempo them. I don't think it's going to work. I think I just go ahead and waste the Wasteland. I don't want them wasting me off of red. This grows the Goyf. Dealing 6 damage here. They're at 3. Now they can't be too cavalier. Yeah, like that fetch puts them closer to death. They could just flip Tommy here and use her as a distraction. I think there's a lot of merit in doing that. I will attack her with both the creatures. Okay, there's the other clue. Yeah, I think it would be remiss of me to not attack Tommy. I hope I just draw a freaking removal spell so I can start casting stuff. So good. We get rid of Tommy, but we can't get rid of this. Gosh, I want to get rid of Tommy. I think it's worth it just getting rid of Tommy. She is a, 1 mana permanent and then attacking him with both. We don't do as much damage, but we get rid of this. If we get rid of Bowmasters, then we can Brainstorm, and we have so many types in the yard. I wish I had a way to descend, but I'm not going to Brainstorm. Let's see if they have a force. Yeah, I think it's correct to just destroy here, and then we get Brainstorm. All right, and they were not happy that it took me so long to think about how to cast my removal spell, but I didn't have. I don't think they were dead on board. Like I cast that spell. Let's see. Actually, they might have been because I was going to Brainstorm. I don't think they were dead on board. Quirios, tempo, very skilled tempo opponent. We got a great hand, anti-tempo. I'm not sure they're on tempo, but I'm going to presume they are. I'm going to snap keep this. I think it's good. I think I'm just going to island Tommy. I'm not going to mess around. I think Tommy's really good because it forces the question, like, do you have removal? Do you want to play stuff into my days? And then we can just ponder next turn, and we'll see more cards. That increases the likelihood of our days, of our ponder actually finding a land. Yeah, this is a great hand. This is one of the reasons to play 4 Tommies. And I am up to 4. I know a lot of people go down to 3, but I think 4 is fine. I think 4 is perfectly sensible because she is the greatest tempo card ever printed. If you flip her, she will kill within 4 turns without dealing a single damage. So it sounds like Quirios was just playing against James Kisao, the Grixis Control Master. All right, looks like Tommy is going to create a clue. Love it. All right, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, we didn't hit, so I feel very good coming in here. They have to respect the fact that we could have Brainstorm and not fire it off. But now we are going to go into the breach here. Ponder. Okay, this is not a keep, unfortunately. We're looking exactly for land. Ponder does not always hit. Ponder does not always hit, people. Okay, and it didn't hit there either. That sucks. Okay, well, at least we had this wasteland to play out. But we're not going to be wastelanding our opponent because that's crazy. I think at this point in the game, we can like crack clues. We can do a lot with, we're just going to wait another turn and we're going to ponder again. Okay, Delta. All right, we got there. This is great. I'm just going to come in for another hug. I will play the land first. They could have Bowmasters. We could bait their Bowmasters out. I actually think it's totally legit. I'm going to do this. If they Bowmaster, that's fine. I can Jaze it. They're on the draw. They have to respect my Bowmasters. I've been on the other side of this so many times. Yeah, they're going to go for it. Swamp. Entomb. What? You're not fair gaming. All right. Well, thanks for letting me know about that. I will let that resolve. I can't do anything about it. I thought I was like, all like, yeah, pumped for these tempo mirrors. Nope. My opponent's playing the bad guy deck. Okay. So they got Archon in there. Not really what you want to see. I think we probably need to Thoughtseize them here. Because if they have Reanimate, it's pretty much GG. Nethergoyf, we don't need a redundant Nethergoyf at this point. Yeah, I'm just going to Thoughtseize them and hope they don't have redundant graveyard interaction. Okay, they're fetching. They may have like Island Brainstorm, which I can daze. I'm going to daze this. None shall pass. I'm gonna put this back in my hand. I don't think this island matters. I want to drop another one next turn. Okay, so we are gonna get to take a card from their hand. They do have Reanimate. Okay, their hand's actually not that great. They do have a Bowmasters, notably. So I'll take this. They're on 3 colors. All right, so their hand is Atraxa, Brainstorm, Badlands, which I will probably waste just to keep my cards live. There's the Brainstorm. If they can find another Reanimate, we're dead. Our deck cannot deal with this. Like this value swing, this tempo swing, in terms of the number of cards they get. And it's very hard for us to kill. So we have like 1 card in our entire deck that kills it. Do you have it? Did you find a Reanimate? They found a freaking Reanimate. So tilting. So tilting. I'm not going to play anymore. My life is too short. Like I've just played. It's like you're like maybe like 2 or 3% to win. Okay, so now Spellbomb's coming in, and I realize they're very much on like the probably like barely on tempo or barely on Reanimator Juke. Like that's probably how their deck is constructed. Because if I know Quirios, he can't resist playing like tempo cards. We did see the Bowmaster. We did see red, but I don't know how much red they actually have. I think Pyroblast is a safe inclusion. We're going to be on the play. I don't actually like Thoughtseize against these types of decks because they're kind of aggro. Yeah, I guess technically we had the borrower in hand, but they're going to get so far ahead, it doesn't even matter. Like, I can't take out forces. This is why like this deck is so powerful, is because it's really hard to board against it. We could bring in Molten Collapse just as more removal. I think I'm going to prune some Fatal Pushes. It sucks to do that, but like we're bringing in another additional removal spell, and these are removal spell for Tamiyo, which they probably have in their deck. Like they're probably playing 3 Tommy, 3 Bowmaster, maybe like 2 Mercs. I mean, we could just take out all the Fatal Pushes. Because if you think about it, like Merc, Tommy are answered by Pyroblast. They may bring in Nethergoyf too, or Barragoyf. If we think the game's going to go long, it might make sense to bring in Barragoyfs over Nethergoyfs. But they are a tempo deck, and we do want to close the game. We're bringing in a lot of reactive stuff. If we take out the Kaito, they're playing red. They might bring in Pyroblast. We take out the Kaito, and we bring in Barragoyf. I mean, we did just put a bunch of artifacts in our deck, so I don't know. I'm going to try this. This way, you know, Barragoyf, you have to like, oh, this hand's fine. This is great. And I'll just lead on Wasteland. No reason to get, well, I could Basic Island. Yeah, I think I'm going to Basic Island. That way I have Daze Up in case like they daze this. Or they won't be able to daze, but in case they force it. It is a very powerful card against them. They can just borrow this out of play later when they're ready to go off. Okay, and they have the waste. So, yeah, this is great. I can waste their waste. We don't have to worry about troll cycling anymore, which is also nice. My opponent's like trying to justify themselves like some kind of tempo. I'm not a total meanie. All right. I think it's fine to just ponder here. See if we find a fetch. Because if it's like fetch 2 bad cards. Okay, so I want all the Bowmasters I get. This Molten Collapse doesn't set the world on fire. I do want a Black Source. All right, so I'm going to go like this. Yeah, and I will draw that, and eventually I'll start casting these, but I am just going to go ahead and get rid of this. Bye-bye. That not only threatens our lands, but it's a... Oh, Oliphant, you are playing Troll Cycle. Okay, I did not anticipate that. Oliphant sucks, but I'm probably going to lose to it. All right, we got him off black. I mean, I'm tempted to just daze this. Is that crazy? This was the land they got. They got a wasteland. They don't have a Black Source? Maybe? Yeah, I'm going to just daze this. Because I think the main reason they're playing red is for Oliphant. They daze back, that's fine. Okay. So now we can just island and we have daze up again. And maybe they don't have a land drop and we're very happy. Eventually we'll be able to jam Bowmasters and make their cantrips rebooting. Tommy's fine. Is Tommy fine? I think she's fine because I'm gonna be jamming the Bowmaster, and I don't think they have any land. Tommy's less scary when they don't have land. Molten Collapse. That was already on there. I knew about that. Why am I acting surprised? Okay. So now we do have Bowmasters up. I think there's a decent chance they try to flip her or something, in which case we can just come in with our Bowmaster and end it. All right, I am going to go ahead and do this. I'm not going to wait around. They daze. I have another one. Okay, great. So we're just going to try to stack these Bowmasters really tall and keep hitting them. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go for land here. If I find a fetch, I can Molten Collapse, kill this and this, which would be pretty tight. Really? All right, I'm going to let that happen because this is like a full force effect with their current mana predicament. Okay, they found the second land, but it's not a Black Source. And again, black is what they need to reanimate, and I've got that covered anyway. But if they're going to try to gradually overpower... So my opponent is no fool. They are going to not block the token. So just come in like this. We're just doing 1 damage. They'll block the Bowmaster itself. Okay. We could push damage here. I kind of think that's fine. Because this just makes their interaction spells even more prohibitive. Okay, they are going to crack this clue in response, which is totally fine. Now Tamiyo is dead. Bye, Tommy. You did replace yourself. Combat damage. Tommy's dead. They take 3. This is great. Tony the Tiger, great. I don't know why I play non-tempo decks. Like, I just do so much better when I play these tempo decks. All right, there's the Bowmasters. I'm going to attempt to force this. It sucks. They might have a Pyro, but this is like too much. They did get black. Okay, that's huge for us. I think that might be the game. Pyro on our side doesn't really do anything. This is the problem with playing the type of deck that we're playing. We're going to go ahead and come in for a big hug. And we're just going to continue to, present the question and see if they have the answer. If they have another Bowmaster, that's bad. They certainly could. They've seen a lot of their deck. If they do Bowmaster, I will pop a Spell Bomb. Is this Barrow? This Merc? Abhorrent Oculus. Okay, I could have avoided that by just popping their graveyard. It just didn't occur to me that that would be in their deck. I could draw a Daze. I drew a Wasteland, which is not really that helpful. We can't attack through this. They are going to get a creature, and we're desperately looking for a red source for our Pyroblast. So this mana value, I have no idea what the mana value of a manifest creature is. So this Merc is pretty good. We can cut them off black and then Merc. But we're no longer the aggressor. Every turn that passes, let's see, we would get 1, 2, 3, 4. We can't take them off red completely. Okay, so options. 1, we just waste them off of the black. That may slow them down a bit. We put a giant Merc on. The Merc is flying. These things can't really get through. I'm going to do this. That way if they have a Daze. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue. So this is bigger than that. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit this. Take them off black. Okay. We find red. I feel really good about where we are. We don't find red. We're in danger. They may very well have a Pyroblast. They've been just waiting. Okay. And they had another black source. So cards like Shielders Edict are on. But that's not that big of a deal. Brazen Borrower would be a big deal. Barragoyf is annoying for sure. We need to find red. I'm going to probably now Spellbomb them. And then, and it sucks to now Spellbomb the freaking Reanimator deck, desperately looking for a red source. If we find a red source, I'll be totally happy. I do have 2 things that are very important to kill here. I'm going to Brainstorm. Yeah, let's do it. Just can't get a break. Okay, so Barragoyf is obviously pretty good because it deals with their Barragoyf. But it's a turnout. I don't want this Underground Sea. Molten Collapse is good, but it's just too slow. Because I think it might be better for us to Barragoyf. Let's see. If we attack, that's 7 in the air. It's not a force block. Then 1, 2, but because they're going to gain back a bunch of life. Oh, this doesn't matter actually because they are creatures, so we can't hit this and a Barragoyf. Okay. So I think what we need to do is we need to hedge for a world in which we do not find the red source. I'm going to put back the Collapse. It sucks, but I think it's correct. Because this is actually an even higher priority than Barragoyf because every turn is creating a creature. Now we're going to ponder. We're going to shuffle. And unless we find, this is a shuffle. Please find a red source deck. Well, my goodness. Well, it was not likely that we were going to find a red source. I think we just have to hang back and let them continue to amass advantage. We could, I don't even think we blocked this Barrow. Oh, we could just hit our own graveyard if they don't block. So it is a forced block. So I will come in. Okay, so you die. Good game. Unless you have like Snuff Out. Whoa, I saw the line. Saw the line. Man, I am embarrassed that it took me so long to see that line. I'm out of shape. Okay. On the draw, I think Daze comes out. I just don't see it being where we want to be. They have so many good cards in their deck. It's just like, so I do think Fatal Push comes in. It's really good against like all their threats. Are they even playing Merc? I don't think they're playing Merc. Okay, so we bring these Fatal Pushes in, and we need to cut something. Molten Collapse seems like it'd be really good, but what do we cut? I'm not cutting any lands. I'm not cutting a Spellbomb. Spellbomb's too good. Tommy Maybe Tommy's the weakest card because we cut Kaito. And again, I'm not happy to have cut Kaito, but I do think it was correct. Kaito is very mana intensive. Yeah, I'm going to do it like this. And we're just playing basically like kind of dumb mid-range against our combo deck. This is a good hand. I'm not going to send hands like this back. Ponder. That, like, it's always such a relief when your opponent casts Ponder. Instead of casting like Nethergoy for Tamio. Or, of course, Entomb. The most powerful thing you can cast turn 1. That you can cast during your opponent's turn 1 before they're, even able to do anything. Just to get around force negation. Okay, so this I don't want to mess around. I'm just going to jam the Spell Bomb. I think it's as simple as that. They want to waste me, they can waste me. Fills up the yard. For Merc, yeah, I'm not going to play on basics. I'm not a coward. They have like 3 wasted in their deck maybe. Got tons of time on the clock. Just take it easy. Focus. Focus, be excellent. Focus on being excellent. I love having 4 of these in like 1 main deck and 3 in the side. This card is so freaking good. It's good against pretty much everything. I mean, it just won us the game. Stealth kill. There were Tenchu Assassins up in here. They're pondering again. This may mean that they don't have enough land, but they're probably going to find it. There's a waste. You're welcome to waste. I mean, I'm tempted to just yeet this Goyf out. I don't have any interaction, and I'm kind of giving up that I don't have any interaction, but Goyf gets the job done. He's a clock. If he gets killed, it's not that big a deal. Tommy dies to Pyro. Brainstorm. Immediately flipping her for no value. This Pyro is going to be sweet. They may force. I don't know if they saw their forces in. I have to have my forces in because they're a freaking Reanimator deck in addition to being a really powerful tempo deck. I did look at playing decks like this, but I couldn't, I threw up in my mouth when I thought about playing into him. Sorry. I'm just not going to do that to you. My excellent friends. You deserve better than me deigning to play into him. All right. Okay. So I think we just Pyro. And that beefs up the Goyf. We are going a little bit off color doing that. I could have Brainstorm first, but I think my hand's fine. I'll just hold the Brainstorm for later. We can win the force fight over this, which must be won, in my opinion. It feels like a cheat code having a Pyroblast in your blue-black tempo deck. It's really powerful. We do have. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna be patient. They could cast their giant thing. If they crack a fetch, I'll probably actually hit their graveyard because that might mean they're about to cast the thing. They have to exile 6 cards. And if that thing, the Oculus, gets stuck in their hand, it's so good for me. That card is so clunky. All right, crack that fetch. You know you want to. Explosives. I actually think my Nile Spellbomb is maybe worth forcing this. I think I'm going to force. Yeah, because if they take me off explosives, I'm like super vulnerable to their combo. I mean, I could just bring Nethergoyf back and then force whatever they do, but then I don't have an answer. I think I'm going to let it happen. Now they know I have force for sure because I paused it for like a long, long time there. But I'll get a card off the Spellbomb. It's going to come in for another hit. Wasteland's pretty good here. Let's think about it. Do we want to take them off? Like they can just refresh. I'm going to go ahead and go in for the hug first. And they may just blow it away. I don't think they're going to blow it here. Okay, they didn't. So options. We can just play out this Wasteland and just chill. Alternatively, we can waste them off white. They'll just go get a Badlands. Or, I'm sorry, red. They'll get a Badlands. I think I am going to just waste here because this kind of forces their hand. I could waste them in their upkeep. That's like when you're supposed to waste. Yeah, I'll just waste in their upkeep. Because I am going to go after the Volk. This is fine. If they want to blow it now, that's fine. And now we're going to have information about what color we need to waste. Whether we need to waste black or red. Like they're probably just going to get black. So I can waste red. Well, I'm going to start with this. So we got rid of their graveyard. We found a Fatal Push. That's not bad. They have all the colors that... Yeah, I think I actually said that they were going to get Badlands earlier. They could have double days. It's probably worth just wasting them off the UC. Just keep them off Merc. Yeah, I'm going to do that. That's fine. I should have probably done that before. Now they have a card in their graveyard. That was a misplay. I should have wasted them before I popped their graveyard. I'll let that Brainstorm happen. This player is extremely skilled. They've been playing for like 20 plus years. Like you can find them on the what is it called? The MTG, the source, the forum. They're like prolific. Okay. So now this is a brainstorm for now Spellbomb turn. And also like ideally a land drop. I just want to mix up my hand a little bit. I could have Merc there, but it would be Baby. Baby 5. It's a One Piece reference. She's one of my favorite characters. Just crazy. Totally crazy. All right. Yes. This is huge. We've got some great stuff coming too. So we can put back this. Well, I might want to force. I don't know. With all these Bowmasters, I don't think it makes sense to like ever do anything other than just Bowmaster people. I'll put back these Bowmasters just in case they have like Thoughtseize Surgical. I mean, I'm trying to think of what could go wrong here. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to push this out here and I'm going to just force to protect it. That's how important it is. Like our opponent just 2-for-1 themselves basically to clear it. Not really 2-for-1. Like technically they got a 2-for-1, but like we cleared their graveyard. Yeah, if they force here, I'll force back. If they daze here, I'll probably still force back. Yeah, this is the best card in their deck against them. Okay, so they can still fill up their graveyard and eventually get to Oculus again, but we do have Fatal Push. I'm not going to force this because I have the Nile Spellbomb. I'll force an effort to get rid of my Nile Spellbomb. Oliphant, yeah, just get that jank card out of there. I mean, like, I will hit their graveyard if they reanimate. I might actually just force the first thing that they do. Okay, so now we're in Bowmaster till your eyeballs fall out territory. I'm just going to pass. They have to take the initiative. Like, we have so many Bowmasters. We can play a Bowmasters. They'll play their Bowmasters. Then we play ours. With 3 Bowmasters, they basically have to have all Bowmasters in their hand to be able to win the Bowmaster race. I'm going to start. I am low on mana. I want to be efficient with my mana. If they daze, it's not a tragedy. Okay. So we're going to hit there. And now we can start swinging in. We've got our clock going. They may upkeep, try to Bowmaster us. That is... So I do have the option of just Bowmastering this, but I'm not going to. All right. My wife had called me and she said she yanked one of my son's teeth out of his skull. So very much in keeping with our current theme of pulling things out of skulls. Now I got a double. I'll hit him for 2 here. I thought it was important to just get a little more damage on. Like, we're clearly the aggressor here. They're going to be drawing janky combo cards, and we're just going to be drawing good tempo cards. I would love it if they Bowmasters thinking that they're triumphant. I mean, sadly, gosh, I didn't think about the fact that they could use my own Bowmaster against me. Yeah, I'm not going to hit their graveyard because they like. Yeah, they turn on too many things. Okay, so I'll just Bowmaster again. Yeah, I didn't think about the fact that Bowmaster is, like, my own Bowmasters are a weapon against me. And so they have, like, way more copies of Bowmaster as a result. Please attack me. I'm just going to come in and Bowmaster again. There's a Brainstorm. I want to clear the path for that. I have another Fatal Push if I absolutely need to. I'll Bowmaster. Don't make me Bowmaster my own Bowmaster. Okay, and now we'll swing in. That's a don't make me bleed my own blood. Or you made me bleed my own blood. I don't know, it's some line from some silly movie. I can't remember even which movie it was, but it was a good line. We've been tapped out and like so vulnerable to daze this entire match, and yet I'm about to force, but I guess I have double force up now. Maintaining Bowmaster supremacy is everything. Yeah, if you want to push my little dinky thing, that's fine. Tamio, I'll just push her. Take the damage. I don't think they have Kaito in their deck, because how could they fit Kaito in their deck? Paragoyf. Oh, Baragoyf. I want to find a land. I've been playing on so few lands for so long. All right, there we go. So I think we don't need both lands. I'm going to put back I'll put back... Would I ever cast Merc? Merc dies to Pyro, and they probably have Pyro. Baragoyf doesn't die to anything with Fatal Push, and they've already used one of their Fatal Pushes too. See how many Fatal Pushes do they use here? Yeah, just one. I guess what I could... No. Yeah, I don't want this land. Yeah, I'll put back a force as well. I'm going to shuffle this away. And then I have the option of using... Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and just push this out of the way. Gosh, what if they have another reanimation effect? It's such a beating. All right, opting not to attack. Love to see it. Yeah, I'll just upkeep fetch. This turns on Revolt in case I need it for some reason. I can't imagine that I would. Oh, I had an Undercity Sewers. I've been playing without Surveil lands in my deck, so that was a missed opportunity to Surveil. Right, I'm just going to Barrel Goyf and pass. He's huge. We'll pass. We have a lot of interaction up. They probably have some cantrips in hand. I don't think that's a big deal. I can just recast him next turn. All right, we're both hurting for land. Wasteland would be a great rip. In fact, I might want to just proactively dig for Wasteland. I'm going to force a Murktide or a Bowmaster anyway. Yeah, let's go ahead and just do this. They may have a Bowmaster because they're thinking. Pyro? All right. I am going to try to find a Wasteland. This Molten Collapse card does the token, but yeah. I mean, these cards are fine. There's nothing wrong with them, but they're not Wasteland. And I want a Wasteland, damn it. Any order shuffle. Oh, okay. Well, I can't complain too hard. I mean, this is totally fine. I'm not going to burn a push or do anything rash. I'll just hang out here. If they find a Wasteland before I do, it's a problem. They need another blue source to be able to deploy this, which even if they do, it's not necessarily clocking me. Thoughtseize would be really good if they play that. They probably took it out. They're just staring at each other. I did get to spend 2 mana last turn and they spent 0, so that's not nothing. Okay, another Spell Bomb. I think we just played the second Spell Bomb. I could go ahead and Murk here. It's going to be pretty big. And if they force this, it's not the end of the world. 1, 2. I'm going to get all my Bowmasters out of the yard here. So this isn't as big as it could be. It's a 5/5. I can make it bigger, of course, at any time. Oh, I should have probably dropped the non spell one just in case they have like some sequence. If I let this go, I've still got the biggest Murk. The problem is if I let this go, they may very well. Yeah, I'm pretty scared actually, but I'm going to let it happen. I've got a 4 still. I think it's unlikely that they have Entomb and Reanimate in hand. Actually, it could be Entomb and... Do I want to go and hit their yard now? I'm going to wait. No. Yeah, I'll just force if they do something crazy. Like an Oculus. I guess I'll force Oculus. I'm going to force this. Hopefully they can't have Pyro here. They could force back. Okay, they didn't. They said GG. Okay, we got it because we can just spell bomb ourselves. They're being honest. But there's no 1 mana black spell that they could use to kill this. All right. They said this is too much fun. I disagree. You know what's really fun is the true battle of wits where we're not constantly having to worry about the opponent reanimating Archon of Cruelty. All right. See you in round 3. We're 2-0. Round 3, we're 2-0. We're going into a match with Bob Buttons, who is a very strong Beanstalk player. I'm going to keep this hand. I think it's fine. It's not spectacular, but it's got a Bowmasters in it. And if they are on Beanstalk, that's going to be very important. We can lead. Okay, they're on lands. It's the most likely. Let's see. Do their depth decks that they've been playing in the past have, I believe they have 2 Thespian stages. So they're most likely on depths, which means that our Bowmasters is unlikely to hit anything here. Probably just want to get a big Murktide going. They do not play Bowmasters in this deck. All right, how many Wastelands do they play? They play 3 Wastelands. We have so much land. I'm kind of thinking about just doing an end step Surveil. They don't have anything. The other thing we could do is we could just Brainstorm next turn. So I think I'm going to play this out. I'm not going to fetch. I'm going to Brainstorm next turn. And then we're just going to fill up our yard. We're going to get rid of this Murktide. If they give us something that we need to push, then we can push. In terms of answers for Shield, for Dark Depths itself, if they're able to find it, which I suspect they're likely to, just go look for it. Okay, Sphere of Resistance. This card's really annoying. I played against this in paper last night, and it was just a nightmare. It took forever to end the game. We actually went to time because of this. I'm just going to go ahead and grab an Underground Sea here, and I'm just going to get this Brainstorm out of my hand because it's going to suck. Yeah, I think they may be on straight up lands. Okay, so this, if they're on lands, I definitely want to put back. I can't really do anything with either of these cards, unfortunately. I could get Tommy out and start getting cracking with that. They've already got a win on the table because they just go get this and win over the course of 2 turns. Yeah, I think the only thing we can really do here is this turn probably just Thoughtseize them. Just fill up our yard as fast as we can. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't hold out a lot of hope for winning this game. Let's see. Next turn, like if they waste us, which there's no reason for them to do anything, but just go get the Dark Depths and try to kill us. I can't think of any practical reason why they wouldn't just do that. I'm going to go ahead and Thoughtseize them. I'll show them that we're playing red, I guess. This might confuse them as to what we're playing, but we're just playing, of course. Blue-black tempo with a light red splash. Okay, Crucible Worlds. That is annoying, and they have the loam, but they don't really have any way to abuse it yet. I'm going to take this Sphere, because them sticking another Sphere would be so irritating. All right. So we're like a wasteland away from death here. But again, I don't think any of that matters, because I think they're just going to make it. It'll take them 2 turns. But there's no, like, even if we get the Merc out, there's no way we can kill them fast enough. We're drawing 2 dead cards. Or we're drawing 1 dead card. Tamiyo could tread water for a turn. They're going to go get the Dark Depths. If they get Dark Depths, I'll just scoop because I don't have an answer to it. I'm not going to draw Wasteland in time. If they find Wasteland, that's also extremely problematic. They find Wasteland. So let's think about this. What is the best possible thing that could happen here? We lose this land. We're never going to be able to get rid of this. So we get Tamiyo on the table. I think we just concede. I don't want to play this. And again, I don't think there's a premature concession at all. They've got us wasted every single turn for the rest of the game. Okay. So Baragoi is harder to cast here. Okay. So let's talk about cards that are definitely coming in. I think you bring in all your spell bombs in this matchup. So we'll have the full 4 spell bombs. Fatal Push comes out completely. They do probably play. Well, aside from constructs, they may not have any creatures that we can push. Molten Collapse can hit permanents. But I don't think they're like really where we want to be. Like paying 2 mana to destroy. It can only destroy like a Mox or an Exploration or something. I think we don't want that. What we do want is stunning with Kaito. That is an actual answer to Merit Lage, assuming we get a turn. Big assumption. I think we can take out Thoughtseize. On the play, it's okay, but yeah, it's not really where we want to be. Meltdown is quite good. We definitely want to bring that in. Okay, and now we still have Daze, which sucks, but it is a blue card for Force, and Force is important. Maybe we get lucky and we force some important spell. Like Lands players never play around Daze because they always assume that you're not going to have Daze in because it's usually a mistake to have Daze in. But we just don't really have anything better. This hand is totally good. Like if we can get Kaito out, it's insane. I kind of want to get the island and just do this, but then we might not draw a Black Source. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play this out. I'm not going to do anything with it. We want them to invest in getting a loam into the yard so we can get rid of it. Next turn, we can Bowmasters. Yeah, they're just on straight lands. Mox Diamonds, probably, Blast Zone's annoying. Come on, do the explosive thing that you do where you put the Life from the Loam in your graveyard so I can at least get rid of that. Okay, there's Exploration. I can't interact with that. Now they've got more lands. Urza Saga's fine. It's not great for us. Do you have the God Hand with the Life from the Loam? If they do, they're going to get back 2 lands. Okay, Elvish Reclaimer. I didn't know that was coming. So that is unfortunate. We don't have interaction for this. I do think I Surveil here just to try to find land number 3. We're not going to have very clean attacks, unfortunately. I think that goes in the yard because they've already shown an ability to stick. Oh, there's our basic. Okay, options. One, we could just, if they attack for some reason, which there's no reason for them to ever attack here. They're just going to attack us for lethal. But should they attack, we do have Bowmasters up. And should they use this, we have Bowmasters into Kaito next turn, and Kaito is extremely strong against their deck. So I think we just do that, and we hold the Spell Bomb. I could come to regret that decision. They're going to probably Bajuka Bog us, which does make Baragoi less threatening. Oh, they have another one. This is dangerous. Keep in mind with Elvish Reclaimer, unchecked, they can just assemble the Merit Lage combo pretty quickly. Crucible. I can't do anything about that, sadly. I can hit their graveyard and take away one of their lands, but like them fetching a land every turn is not the end of the world. Okay, I'm just going to come in with this. I need to get Kaito out. Let me think about this. Yeah, I am going to play it, and I'll just ping them. They're fetching. Okay. It's good for us. Maybe they're going to... Oh, they're just going to do that? Okay. All right. Bob Buttons is a very strong player, too. That's another thing to note. Okay, so what we could do is we could Kaito. We tack in, we get Kaito out. They could go get Lava Spur Boots and equip it to this and hit us really hard. They could kill this Kaito. We could plus have Kaito at 5, so he probably survives. Then he attacks again. They probably don't block. Then we Kaito the new one with higher loyalty in. And we just Kaito into Kaito. That'll work until they find a Wasteland. They can, of course, just go get a Wasteland. Baragoi does not answer the problem because they can just nuke our graveyard, and Baragoi is actually smaller than this right now. I'm just going to go in with both. I don't know that there's a better play than this. Leave a comment with a timestamp if you think like I should be messing around with brainstorm and stuff here. They may not block because, oh, they're going to block. So let's go ahead and bring this back. Kaito, I will pick up this one. So Kaito's going to hit him. So we've already played our land for turn. I don't think surveilling is correct. I think we just plus. And we pass. They can get this up to 3. If they get Lava Spur Boots, they could do a lot of damage to it, but they would need to... They're not going to create a construct this turn. Yeah, I'm just going to do this. Next turn, what I can do is I can minus stun something and then attack in and swap it out and then plus again. Kaito is by far the best card in the entire deck against their deck, but I don't know if it's going to be good enough because my opponent had an extremely explosive opening. It's also worth noting that with Crucible Worlds, they have basically infinite Urza Saga constructs, infinite Mox Diamonds. When they go fetch, they can go get the anti-graveyard card, Light Soul God Lantern. Okay. So just to put this in perspective, like so you can understand how powerful this card is, every single turn they go get the best card in their deck because all their cards are lands. There's a Wasteland. So they're planning to waste me and probably attack Kaito down. That's fine. That sucks. No more black for us. Another Wasteland. Okay, so we're not going to be able to do the Kaito into Kaito trick. Yeah, oh, they can just recur the Wasteland infinitely. So we're like stuck on 1 mana for the rest of the game, basically. We can have little bursts where we have 2 mana, but that's it. Also worth noting, like I stun this, then they just hit me with Construct. So it doesn't really accomplish much. They may not even attack because they may just... I don't know if they have Sajiri Step, but they could get Sajiri Step here. Okay, Force of Will doesn't really accomplish anything here. I think it's probably worth just spellbombing them just to get that out of... to prevent them from wasting me for the rest of the game. It doesn't actually accomplish a lot, though. So I can wait till this trigger goes on the stack and this gets sacrificed and then get rid of one of them that way. I could also brainstorm and try to hit a land. I think that's better than not doing anything. I could attack first. See, there's no way that we're going to do all lethal damage with this Kaito before they kill it. They could double block here. Let's see. This would be 1, 2, 3, 3, 3 plus 3. So that'd be 6. So they would be able to successfully kill my dude. But they don't know that I don't have a Fatal Push. Okay, I'm going to brainstorm first. I was trying to decide whether to use his ability before or after combat. So we did find a land. This is good. So I can put this back. I'll put back Baragoi. Actually, I'm going to put Baragoi even deeper because I don't think we're ever going to get to cast him. At least we can pitch. Spellbomb. Play this out. Play this out. Spellbomb. So the question is, do we want to stun the Elvish Reclaimer? We can remove the power from this. They'll go get it. They have to have Lava Spur Boots in addition, which they probably do have in their deck. And I think with Lava Spur Boots, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. It would be big enough to kill Kaito if I don't plus. I'm going to go ahead and plus before combat. Now we're going to attack. Again, none of this is likely to work, but I'm doing my best here. So they take 5 probably because they don't need to block here. If they do try to double block, obviously I can spellbomb them. I'm going to wait until the Urza's Saga trigger is on the stack. And at that precise moment, I will spellbomb them. They won't be able to get... they could get a Pithing Needle here to shut this off. It's worth noting that Maze of Ith doesn't affect this, which is their primary, defense mechanism in their deck. So here's the first construct. Yep. Now they're going to go get something here. I'm going to set a stop here because I basically want to hit confirm every single thing they do. This works. So this land is about to go away, and they won't actually have that many lands for Crucible, but they may draw more. They can go get more lands. Okay, this is Ghost Quarter. Freaking terrifying, because that basically means I'm on 0 lands for the rest of the game. I can't imagine I can win now. They can easily just attack in and kill. They'll have 2 of these. They can just double block. Yeah. Okay. That was a short one. Let's go to round 4. We're 2-1. Now, I know what you may be saying. You may be saying, wow, lands is so powerful. Even when you draw 2 of the best cards that you can play against it, you just don't have the mana to cast it. Lands is like the ultimate land destruction deck. And it is very good against fair decks. It does get completely destroyed by combo, which is half the meta. So before you run out and purchase your Mox Diamonds and your Tabernacle and all those other expensive cards, just play test it a little bit on MTGO because I know so many people that are like so kind of like bought in on lands that they play it, and like, yeah, it's not a good deck to play at like a major tournament, in my humble opinion, because you're just going to run into oops all spells and decks like that you don't really have any gameplay against. So, and of course, non-blue players will always say that they have a favorable combo matchup. They won't always say that, but they often do. But just remember that. Like the price you pay for putting Force of Will in your deck and adapting your deck to be like kind of anti-combo, it does cost you a lot of percentage points in these fair matches like lands and stuff like that. So let's jump to the next round. We're up against Shiromuni. They're on an 80 card special here. Not a great matchup for us. Fair non-blue decks are not a great matchup, but at least we're on the play. This hand's fine, assuming they don't waste us. They are a 4 wasteland deck. I could be a coward, Island Ponder. It doesn't move things forward at all. It doesn't. Well, we do have Molten Collapse for Vile. Vile's the best card in their deck. But unfortunately, fetching Island does not get us closer to casting Vile. Nethergoyf's not great. I think we do just be cowards and go Island Ponder. I don't want to put back, like every card is going to matter in this matchup. I could just Underground Sea Ponder. But if I shuffle that and we whiff, it's extremely obvious that we just whiffed. And because I have a second Ponder, I want to make sure we get a second crack, just in case. Hopefully we just see a bunch of lands. This is fine. I'll keep this. Tamiya's good, but she's not great against the Check's Notes 4 Caracas deck. How many Caracases do they have? 4 Caracas. I'm not going to be playing Tamiya. She's going to be sided out. So what we're going to do is we'll take the Underground Sea here. They may have Thoughtseize of their own. They do have 4 Thoughtseizes most likely. So just minimizing the cards that are exposed to Thoughtseize. Then what we're going to do is next turn, we're probably going to Nethergoyf and just ponder to try to find a card that's better than Tamiyo, which again, Tamiyo could be snuck in there, but most likely she's just going to be bounced to our hand and we're going to regret drawing her. Okay, fetch. It's probably Thoughtseize here. Yeah, there we go. So Collapse would be a good take, but if they had Vile, they probably lead on Vile. They may not want to get their Vile dazed, but if they're worried about mana, they probably wouldn't have fetched a non-basic. They have perfect information basically of our deck. They know that we're on the Red Splash Nethergoyf deck. I'll be stunned if they take Thoughtseize here. If they take Nethergoyf, that's actually good for us because we can bring him back. They took Thoughtseize. Okay. Well, they are an aggro deck. I didn't really care that much about casting that Thoughtseize anyway. That's not just Sour Grapes. Oh wait, I do have another Thoughtseize. The fact that they took Thoughtseize makes me want to take Thoughtseize. I'm going to Thoughtseize first to get information, then that can inform my Ponder. I'm almost certainly going to shuffle though. Okay, so we don't have an immediate answer to Thalia, but she's not for our deck. She's not a particularly strong card against our deck. If we take the Witch Enchanter, they're stuck on mana. They White Bloom, White Orchid, Phantom us. We just go get... we have our basic island out, so it's like a straight up kill spell for our land. If they Overlord, that's bad. So here's what I think we should do. I think we should take the Witch Enchanter because they're stuck on mana. And then we should Ponder and try to find like a Daze. Yeah. And if they just draw a land, it's going to suck. How many lands do they play? 31 in a in +2. So 33 really. I'm going to try to high roll. Now we're going to Ponder. Let's look at their hand again. So their hand... Yeah, and then Yorion's not in their hand. Yeah, this is an any order shuffle, if I've ever seen one. Okay, Force. That doesn't help us. We'll pass. We can't safely cast this Nethergoyf because they'll just use their turn to plow it. Okay, our gambit paid off. We got a time walk. Daze is great. I can just daze to keep this around. I think that's probably what I want to do. We'll go ahead and put this out. I think they're just going to insta plow. Probably. I could potentially bounce this to hand. Okay, they're not going to plow. I really don't hope they don't White Orchid Phantom. That would be backbreaking. Okay, we're getting lucky. So I'm fine with bouncing this to hand. Because again, I may not even play it out. So now this is a 3-4. Okay, that's great. I'll play it out. We'll come back in. And we're just going to try to hit as many times as we can before this. We could protect the queen on it. I don't think that's a winning strategy. I'm probably going to have to counter this Overlord if they try to do it. We have shown them we don't have more land, I believe. I think we missed a land drop. Okay, Brainstorm's great. I'm going to Brainstorm first, just in case I find... What can I find? I don't know, like some sort of creature. Okay, these daisies are good. Fatal Push is great. I don't need it for now. All these cards suck if they waste this, by the way. Which is quite likely to happen here. Let's just come in for another hug. Yeah, we can definitely play Protect the Queen here. If they draw another plow, that'd be good for us. I'm going to be dazing whatever they put on the stack. Holy cow, we're getting so lucky. Okay, we're just drawing Chaff again. They're discarding. They discard Caldra. Really wish I could get another type in the yard, but I can't. Let's just come in for a hug. We can just push. Like, if they play creatures, I can push them out of the way. I will probably force an Overlord just because it's so much value. This is slow. I think we let this go. They don't have any 1-drops, so they're going to get beaten down by this beforehand. I've got 2 points of interaction. I want to use them. 2 more swings. We're good. Let's do this. Scariest thing we could do would be play a Wasteland here. That's fine. Okay. We are going to get away with this one, folks. It's Tommy. I'm going to play her out. No, wait. I have double force. I don't think force is going to be an issue, but it could come up. There's no real reason for me to play her out. I'm just going to attack twice. And then what I'll do is I'll Fatal Push whatever they put into play. Oh, I have to clean up. Oh, that was a misplay. I could just put Tommy in there, but it doesn't actually change anything. I'll put the Molten Collapse in their yard. They've already seen it. They thought sees me. All right. So they're going to have 1 creature plus a potential land drop. So we just push whatever creature they put into play. And then we have Foresight. And they'll have to put something into play to block. There's the Wasteland that I feared. So we can actually... They may waste first. This is actually kind of scary because if they're smart, like if the heads up play is waste this, then I have to do something. What I'll do is I'll Fatal Push and I'll daze to get my land back. So at least I have a Fatal Push for next turn. That does take me off double force though, but I think it's worth it to keep my land around because Fatal Push and then attacking in is going to be pretty clutch. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to first double check. I always do this to make sure that it didn't get unbound somehow. I've had it happen sometimes, the gremlins. We're going to go to input settings and I'm going to hold shift while I cast this Fatal Push, which is very freaking important. Very important. If this doesn't work, like I lose the game. So we're going to Fatal Push here. I'm holding down shift. It should give me the opportunity to daze this. Now I daze, bringing this back to hand. I've fizzled their Wasteland and next turn I can deploy a land. I'm not going to pay for the daze. Okay, and we, just like that, we still have our Tarmo or Nethergoyf in play. All right. So now I can play this land. I can go in for an attack. When they put their creature in before it blocks, I can push it. They scoop. Yeah, we got it. I think they knew what was up. Maybe they knew that we had another Fatal Push in our hand. I can't remember if they saw that. I don't think they did. Okay, so cards that are good here. A lot of our deck sucks against them. Molten Collapse is exceptional because it can hit Vial and a creature, and it doesn't matter how costly that creature is, so it can even hit like Solitude and Yorion and stuff like that. I think Borrower comes in. Cards that are bad, Daze is terrible against them. We got lucky that Daze was relevant. Thoughtseize is not bad. They're an aggro deck, but yeah, like they don't use their graveyard a lot. I mean, technically they do use their graveyard for what's his face? The very scary art, Overlord of Baelmark. I think we keep a Daze in. No, we keep Meltdown in. Let's take a look at their artifacts. So artifacts, they have 4 Aether Vial, 1 Pre-War, 1 Phantom Blade, 1 Cauldron. None of those are meltdownable except for Vial. I don't think we bring that in. I think we rely on this Molten Collapse to do the trick. Tommy's so terrible. I'm tempted to just pull her all out and just put in the Dazes. It sucks, but like you have to go with the less bad card. And Daze can potentially do something, whereas Tomio is just so irritating to draw and play. So that means we have 2 more cards. Do we want to put Spell Bombs back in our deck? I think it's actually fine to put Spell Bomb in the deck. And the reason is they have both Pre-War and they have Overlord. Now you can't stop Overlord. Really, you can't stop it because they choose from among the cards that they mill. But it might have some benefit, and it does feed our Goyfs. So this is a very bad matchup. This is arguably one of the worst matchups. I think this and Depths and really any white deck is a pretty nightmare matchup for us. But we're going to do our best. We got super lucky game 1. This is a great hand because it just stamps out things they have to deal with. So I'm going to open Sewers probably. Okay, we have to get to 3 mana. We have 1 basic in the deck. We will probably have to fetch that basic. Okay, I'm going to play this. I'm not going to Thoughtseize them initially. I don't have a play next turn. I'm going to bin this. We're on the draw. It's a terrible card. It's only in our deck because we have to have 60 cards. And you may like leave a comment with a timestamp if you think I'm being like I'm going overboard with so we have to win the game before this matters. Okay, good news is they just put 2 Vials in their graveyard, which are great for us. Bad news is they do have an interaction spell now. It is a card disadvantage interaction spell, but it is an interaction spell nonetheless. All right, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to Thoughtseize them and then pass. We're like at a serious disadvantage here because they are ticking down. Okay, this is precisely why I'm glad I boarded out Tommy. Bowmasters is pretty bad against our deck too. Man, they can just stamp out Overlords every single turn. I think we have to take the Overlord because it's just going to get crazy. Even like our Barragoyfs can't necessarily hang. Also, they have Solitudes for our Barragoyfs. Each of these Overlord can't get back another Overlord. So we've got that going for us. All right, we do have Push, but it doesn't kill really anything in their hand except the Bowmaster. And if they play out a Bowmaster, I might be inclined to just kill it, just to get it off the table. Currently, no legendary creatures in hand. There's the second Overlord that I can't interact with, unfortunately. So, yeah, like these things just get out and they do so much damage. They get back Recruiter, which is pretty bad because it can search for Felia, which can blink. This card is really annoying. We didn't want to see this. They ripped it. That was a natural draw. So that was a draw for turn. Now these tick down. We're getting closer to Apocalypse. All right, so I am going to go for this turn. I don't think we can wait. They're going to Solitude it, and then we keep going because we have to do something that we're going to lose. We are default dead. If we stay the course, we're dead. All right, and I'm not going to wait for a protection spell. It's a 6/7. They have to Solitude it. It's going to give us some life, which will buffer us a little bit against that. But yeah, at no point did I think, oh, we should definitely waste one of these lands. I just don't think we maybe next turn we had the luxury of doing that. But my next turn is going to be probably Wasteland. Okay, this is totally fine. This is a 2-for-1. But again, they've already gotten several 2-for-1s on their side. So this is gone. Every time they attack, they're going to get a new one. What did they exile? They exiled Solitude to Solitude. That's good to know. But it is still in their yard. So when this flips and when they attack with it, they will get another one. Okay, so these are 2 turns away. This is outside of the range of Fatal Push, unfortunately. Okay, so I think here we just cut them off black. They're probably going to go ahead and play their Bowmasters out. Okay, they didn't. Well, that's very good for us. We have terrible top decks. We've drawn like 3 lands, I think. So if they can answer this, we're really screwed. They currently have Bowmasters in hand, which does block this twice. But this is bigger than their Overlords. So Bowmasters uncounterable now off of Vial. Very scary. We can't draw cantrips. If we do, we can't cast them. They could also draw a Plow. They have 4 Plows in their deck. Let's see what their card for turn is. Bowmaster, 3 unknowns. Oh, wait, 1 known because they grabbed the... Okay, and now they can cast the card that searches. So what they could do is search. They don't have 3 yet, but they could get a Skyclave Apparition and hit us with it next turn. So if I were them playing their deck, which their deck is very good, if you'd like me to play it on the channel, let me know. I prefer not to play non-black decks because it's just total disaster playing this type of deck against like combo matches. But let's say hypothetically I were playing them. What I would do is I would go ahead and tutor with the whatever they put in their hand. I'm so stunned they're not casting it. They must think we have days, which is great. Like virtual days, right? We did bin a days earlier. So we're like one of those mad lads that keeps the days in on the draw, even though that's our only one. They don't know that. Okay, so let's come in. So this will get punished by Bowmaster. So basically this is stapled to this. Maybe they block. I mean, next turn they're going to get the Bowmaster back if they attack. They're not going to be able to attack until the subsequent turn. I'm going to play this out. I don't think it hurts to play it out. We're going to come in. They're going to Bowmaster. They're going to ping us. Then they're going to go Recruiter later. So they're just going to block with the thing. We get a bunch of life. They can just buy time. They're so far ahead. And by the time they starts attacking, they can just get the Bowmasters back every turn. I guess I could have Fatal Push there to prevent them from being able to block with that. And then they would have had to block with the Bowmaster. And then we would have been able to Ponder. Maybe that was correct to do that way. I'm just going to chill. I don't want this to be in their graveyard when they... Oh, they can just get Solitude back when they attack. So they are attacking this up to 3. Hand is Recruiter, 2 unknown. Okay, I am gonna push here because I want them to feel it if they're gonna. They have a Recruiter that they can jump in there to block, and that's probably what they'll do. If I can draw another Fatal Push, I can force. Well, I'm not forcing anything. They're in the driver's seat. Oh yes. Oh yes, Witch Enchanter to the board. Yeah, that's gonna be forced. Okay, so they can just get this back when they attack next turn if they attack. Wasteland. It's not the worst. I mean, they still have the Recruiter, so they can still play it out, so we still lose. I'm just trying to think. I am gonna go ahead and waste here to see if I can get motion. Let's go ahead and attack. I probably didn't need to do that because now, if you think about it, now they know that they shouldn't get like a legendary creature. Yeah, so here's the Recruiter. So they are going to be able to attack and get a card back. If they get Bowmaster back, they can indefinitely wall me. They don't have white mana currently, though. Skyclave, okay. We're done here. This is over. All right, and that's precisely the line I mentioned earlier that they could do. Okay, so on the play, I do think we keep the Daisies in. Yeah, I think we probably keep the deck the exact same it is now. Again, I have zero faith that Tamio is going to do anything other than just be annoyingly bound. She's going to be an expensive Rishon on port. Let's run this. Kaito will be good if we can resolve him. Again, Molten Collapse will be great. This is a mulligan. This is a reluctant keep. Gosh, this hand sucks. These Molten Collapses are great, but they have freaking 4 Wastelands. And yeah, I need a mulligan this. I'm not going to keep this. I don't want to die that way. Like, we're probably going to lose anyway. They kept 7. Yeah, we're probably going to lose anyway. This is the best of the 3 hands we've seen. I'm going to put back the Force and the blue card. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Boom. Oh, wait. Let's put back, yeah, Force blue card. I don't think Force is where we're so low on resources already. I don't think we can afford to go lower. Yeah, I'm going to do it. The rest of these cards are fine. So what I'm going to do here, I am going to go ahead and Thoughtseize them, I think. And then if they waste us, then we'll just sit around. We'll at least have 1 land in case we draw a cantrip. But I don't want them to have a turn 1 vial. Okay. Their hand is actually pretty meh, but they do have the Wasteland, so we're probably still cooked. I'm going to take Felia. She's definitely the most flexible card. These other cards take a while to deploy. So Recruiter is very good. Yeah, here's the Wasteland. They, of course, have the Caracas because they always have a Caracas. You wouldn't think an 80-card deck would have it. I can't remember the exact math, but it's like 30% of the time you'll get your 4 of. Okay, that's fine. I think we just chill with this out. Plains. Okay, they're not doing anything. I'm gonna wait till my turn to brainstorm because I want to max looks at land. Murktide might be... Well, Murktide's going to die to Solitude. Let's see if we can find a land. All right, we found 2 lands. So we're going to put back one of the Mercs. These other cards are really good. I don't want to put them back. However, we do need to move the game forward. Yeah, I'm just going to put this back, and then I'm going to go fetch my... in the end step, I will fetch with more information. And we're going to try to bait with Bowmasters and then Merc. So we do have our colors now. That's good. That I think I actually will take. I think it'd be greedy to bin that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hope to ping this recruiter as it comes out. And then hopefully they interact some way. They have no reason to interact, but like hopefully they do. It would be loose for them to interact because like Merc is how we win. But if I just play at the Merc into a known Solitude, that's not going to win. I think I am going to go and just play this out and start beating them. Again, you could argue that we need this out to deal with like a recruiter or something like that, but we're going to get a clock going. They could have Felia and just ambush, but we do have Fatal Push. Kaito would be a great draw here. That's not a great draw at all. I definitely don't want to pitch my Merc. I'm just going to come in for an attack and see if we can bait interaction. If we can get a Felia out, then we can Fatal Push. Unfortunately, they're very smart, and they kept Karakas up. So they could block here. I mean, like, it sucks. It really sucks, but we have to force here, in my opinion. We're just not winning if they get active Felia with Karakas out. Yeah, and now the Murktide Dream is dead. Maybe we'll draw the other Murktide. We have 2 in the deck. I've switched to playing Beargoyf instead of Murktide in my blue-black tempo. I've done like complete 180 on Beargoyf. I love Beargoyf now. And Merc no longer best friends with friendship is canceled with Murktide. My new best friend is Beargoyf. Okay, so here's the recruiter. Oh, we're going to lose. This is how you lose. Like we failed to establish early pressure because we had to mull to 5. Because we had a Fear Wasteland, which was a legit fear. We did get wasted. I want to remind everybody. Just because I'm playing conservatively doesn't mean I'm playing wrong. This doesn't even do anything. We'll just attack in. I'm not going to waste a Fatal Push on a card like that's already done its thing. There are good cards we could draw. I don't know what they are. They could overpower that. I mean, that's not a bad card. I'm going to go ahead and come in like this, and then I'll drop a Goyf. And again, I'm like totally cool if they want to trade. It's less material that they'll have during their Yorion turns. And I say Yorion turns because they get multiple turns with Yorion, because Yorion's extremely powerful at this point in the game. Like once they start getting more mana out, that's why they play 4 Karakas, so they can fully max on Yorion. This is 4/5, so we'll gain 4 life, basically. This is basically him to Torok and gain 4 life for 1 black mana. But if they, yeah, that's fine. Let's see what they get. If they get pre-war, then I probably won't push this. Yep, they got pre-war. So we have 1 turn cycle to draw. Oh, they are going to Solitude. Nothing I can do about it. Pre-war can only bring up 3, CMC 3 or less. Another Goyf is exiled. Vile. Yeah, I mean, it's better late than never, I guess. Okay, so we don't even have a good attack here, but I'm not going to burn this push on this. Am I? Okay, let's think. What could save us here? What could save us? They currently have... Oh, they have a Flicker Wisp? That's what they got? Oh, that's such a brutal card. So they Solitude... No, wait. They pitched Flicker Wisp. Okay. So they basically just have Formalware and 3 unknowns. So if we push this out of the way, we do make pre-war cost more, and it may be Daze Bolt. But the real reason I'm excited about pushing this out of the way is we could draw Kaito. So I'm going to live in that world. I'm just going to get the Badlands just in case. Like, how insane would the Molten Collapse be later? If we could take that out and kill the creature that they pre-war, it'd be good. All right, you may say like, well, wasn't that a bad play? Because now, but we need Kaito. We need that kind of home run. So they don't have a card that can exile Kaito, but what they can do, or Beargoyf, but what they can do is they can get back a recruiter, which can go get Kaito. So this is big, but it's not actually that big. It's 4/5. We're fighting the good fight. They still have 4 cards in hand. I mean, this is the closest thing you get to like a 20-80 matchup in Legacy, in my humble opinion. This in like this playing against Uppsala spells is probably like a 100-0. There are no 100-0, but like this deck definitely has trouble with fast combo, I would imagine. Especially when it's 80 cards and it's a lot harder to find your anti-combo pieces. Just think of how much trouble we have fighting combo, and then imagine trying to beat Oops All Spells. Like, right, we've probably got like a 60-40 matchup against Oops All Spells, and we're like one of the best decks against Oops All Spells. Now, interesting. Are they not going to put Yorion into their hand at least? Oh, Yorion. Okay, interesting. They're opting not to Yorion. So what do they have in their hand? Do they have a Felia? Okay, Wasteland. I think we just go ahead and hit this now. I don't want any shenanigans. Okay, so they're floating. All right, do you just have a plow? Is that what's going on here? Fetching. Okay. What costs 3 mana that can come in like this? Oh, Bowmaster? Yeah, that doesn't matter. Like, I mean, like, we're super screwed. They can just tread water, and then they can pre-war. Again, I'm playing this because I think we have, like, maybe, like, a 5% chance of winning, but I doubt even that's true. Their endgame is, like, impeccable because as long as they get 5 mana, they just go get Yorion, and they just loop Yorion. The fact that they have this pre-war, like, basically invalidates most of our plans. Like, we're, like, looking forward to the prospect of getting a 2-for-1 off this Paraguayf. Well, we have to get through their defenses first. We're not going to play anymore. All right. So if those last 2 rounds felt very fatalistic, it's because the lands matchup is not that bad. It's like a 40-60 matchup, but this is just the nightmare. So hopefully we get matched up against a control deck or a tempo deck or a combo deck would be great. We haven't fought against combo all day, but well, I guess we did beat Blue-Black Reanimator. Final round. We are 2-2 fighting for the positive record up against an unknown opponent. This hand, I mean, let's face it, this hand is great if we're against a non-wasteland deck. We've got Tommy who starts generating. Well, is it actually great? I mean, Daze is great. If we're up against combo, no, actually, this isn't that great of a hand because we're vulnerable to wasteland. We have no way to capitalize on Tommy without drawing the second land. Fatal Push may not even be relevant if they're like Jeskai control or something. This hand sucks too. This hand's terrible. It's super vulnerable. I'm going to mull this as well. The good news is our opponent's probably going to think we're on Oops All Spells. So maybe they'll start mulling. I would love nothing more than them to mull to a force, thinking we're on a combo. They did mull. I'm going to mull again. Oh my goodness. Can we get a 2-lander, please? The good news is they're probably not going to keep Wasteland because, yeah, I mean, this is basically the same hand we had turn 1. I'm going to put back Collapse and Push since our opponent mulled. Okay. And if they just blow us out, they just blow us out. Like, that's how the cookie crumbles. We're playing 19 lands. We're not playing no coward like 21 mana base or something like that. We're a blue deck. We're going to get Tommy on the table. We can Daze to protect, and then we can Brainstorm, Flipper, and potentially run away with that if they... Okay, yeah. So now they know, okay, they're not a combo deck because combo decks don't play Tommy. Ancient Tomb. Torpor Orb. Well, you're telling me that you're playing... what's it called? Yeah, I'm just going to Daze this. This does affect a few of our cards, and this enables their Phyrexian Dreadnoughts and stuff, and their Null Drifters, which they can cast Null Drifter next turn. Terrifying. Null Drifter is definitely more powerful than a Tommy. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and come in for an attack, and then I am going to flip and start going north. They may be playing Prismatic Ending. They may be on like the white build. Even a lot of like, you know, white decks are not playing Prismatic Ending right now because a lot of like the One Ring decks and stuff like their curve is just so high. So finding a land would be good here. Okay, Wasteland's great. I think we hold Force, and what we do is we put Fatal Push on top and Nethergoyf. And then what we can do is we can waste one of their lands next turn, and we're just going to try to beat them down. Try to Tommy, bully. Can you imagine being bullied by a librarian? That's what this librarian likes to do. She is the definition of like browbeating with a book. And she does it in the most subtle way. She's like, I'm never going to touch you. I'm a helpless librarian. Look at me with my floating scrolls. I'm just going to draw all the cards so that this other Planeswalker guy, he can kill you. The other Planeswalker being us players. I think they may have errated or retconned. What's the word? The actual player to not be yeah, they're definitely on. Okay, so now they kept their top card. I think we could cut them off this. They did mulligan. I think that's probably more impactful than cutting them off Ancient Tomb. They had something to do with 2 mana, they probably would have done it. Now we've got a decent blocker. Now I am aware that they could Prismatic Ending and have Daze up, and we don't have protection for her. We're back to square one. Hopefully that doesn't happen. There's the island. Ponder. Sure. I will say that I'm not convinced that Ancient Tomb is a good innovation in this shell. As having played a little bit of Stiflenought myself, I really do like just having good colored mana sources. There's the Fatal Push we knew we were going to draw. I'm just gonna hold the line. Love isn't always on time. I'm going to come in because we've got the Tommy shield. There's no way like they're going to have some hasty beat. Might as well get the clock going, even though once we draw 8, they're probably, or draw, 25 cards. They're probably just going to scoop to that. But so we do have Daze Protection on our Underground Sea here. If we need to force something like I don't know what they would do. They could stifle this, of course. They could play, I'm trying to think of cards that would actually stop Tommy from working. There's that dragon guy. Yeah, you can have that. That's not a big deal. Okay, they scoop. All right, that worked out great. For a Mold of 5 in the blind, no idea what our opponent's playing. That worked out very well. So these Pyros come in. Beargwif is pretty good. Oh man, I think in almost every fair matchup you want to board him in, he's just so good. If you're gonna get high enough in mana. Meltdown, I mean, they're playing Torpor Orb. I don't know. I'm not convinced. These Pyros are slam dunk, though. I think Molten Collapse could come in. Do they have any 1-drops? I doubt it. So I think this is just like a removal spell. I mean, I'm tempted to pull it. Null Drifter resolves, like, what are we going to do? We're not going to stop that thing. They are an AV combo deck, so that's an argument for keeping the Thoughtseize in. We're on the draw, so that's an argument for taking out Daze. I think I like that argument. I'm going to keep Force in because they are a combo deck. Oh, we can cut this Spell Bomb. They don't use our graveyard for anything. Like Oculus, sure. I will happily push your Oculus. I don't think we keep that in just for the Oculus. I think this is fine. So all we've done is basically upgraded our interaction and put in a couple good threats at the cost of some removal. Yeah, and they may be playing Tamio, and we may not be able to kill the flip Tommy. In a lot of my sideboards, like actually we can kill Tommy with Pyro. Never mind. Pyro does a great job of killing Tommy. This is a much better hand than we've gotten previously. I would be willing to bet that if we play out the Tamio, they're just going to kill on sight after what happened in the previous game. I'm going to keep this. Bowmaster is quite good against them. They're a cantrip deck. If they get that card in play that stops us, that's bad. Let's see if we can rip a land. Oh, no. I am going to Tommy. And hopefully they don't waste me. And hopefully, like, they get Torpor Orb out. There's not a lot we can do about it. We just have to deal with the actual creatures that come out of it. Come on, you know you want to daze it. You know you want to force it. This is the card that killed your dad. Right? You killed my father. What is it? What does he say? I am Inigo Montoya. So I'll do it now that I've got the name. I am Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. That's what he's saying to Tommy right now. You blasted librarian with you and your scrolls. Okay, there's the white. They may have prismatic ending. They're giving me a chance to get my Bowmasters on the stack. That's nice of them. I'll play this out. I'm going to attack. I do not have a brainstorm, so if they plow, that is a plow that they will not be aiming at other stuff. Okay, we're in. Okay, so opportunity here to just chill and Bowmaster potentially and crack Clue and step to try to find a land. I'm not going to try to break up their combo. I'm just going to accept that. Okay, they didn't have the one guy, the Doorkeeper Thrall. That's the scariest card in their deck because it stops my Bowmaster. I guess actually my deck doesn't have a lot of ETB triggers, so it's not that scary, but it does enable them to do, powerful stuff. So I think this is a window for us to. We could force them to brainstorm, and then we could Thoughtseize what they keep from their brainstorm. They could have a daze. I do just want to find a land. I think I just want to find a land here. Also, if they're playing like Hull Breacher, we're getting in under Hull Breacher. Another Thoughtseize. Okay, we're definitely Thoughtseizing here. Gosh, can we draw a freaking land? My goodness, deck. I kind of want to just draw again, just in case we find, because how humiliating is it that we've got all these cards in our hand, and of course Redundant Tamios. That happens when you're playing tempo decks. You should play 4 Tamiya in my opinion. You can play 3, but this is going to happen. I mean, if we crack this Clue, I'm just going to chill. Because I want to crack this clue, but I don't want to discard. Wait, I have to discard anyway, don't I? Well, Redundant Tamio, you're going to the bin. I do want to fire off these Thoughtseizes. I feel like this entire match, we've just been struggling to find land. We got lucky enough to find land last game, but do you have something like a Bowmaster? You have a Ponder in your hand. Go ahead and cast it. Do you have a Brainstorm? Okay, I'm going to do this because I don't want to discard again. And if they interact with it, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. You can brainstorm around it. You can force it, whatever you want to do. You can even daze it. I don't care. I just want to get it out of my hand so I can keep moving forward with my game plan, which is hopefully involves drawing some lands. Dress down. Okay, well, that's super duper annoying, isn't it? That means that Tommy doesn't get a clue. It means I got this 1/1 that doesn't do anything. Hopefully I draw a land. Come on, deck. I believe in you. We've got 17 lands and 49 cards. That's a pretty good chance at drawing a land. They're going to clean up. That's nice. Okay, Null Drifter. Don't mind if I do. Oh my goodness, deck, come on. We're just like getting lucky that they aren't killing us. We really are. There's no point in attacking. Like I'll attack with the Bowmaster just to do a damage. Oh my goodness. So I think if we crack this and we don't find a land, we just go straight to discard. But I need land. Come on, deck. Give me a freaking land. Please. I'm pleading with you. Okay, good. Finally. All right. That was stressful. Let's see what we can take out of their hand. We are going to take some other enabler. What the hell? Holy cow. Oops. All enablers and Hull Breacher. Yeah, I may have mentioned Hull Breacher earlier. I started to mention it. Oh my goodness. What do we do here? I'm stunned that they didn't play out the Torpor Orbs. They got double Torpor Orbs. Stock up's really good. They're just waiting for a land. They can't brainstorm next turn because they tapped out for the dress down. I think stopping us from pinging them, that's a questionable call. And that forced them to go to discard. And Null Drifter because there's no way we can stop both of these Torpors. Just can't play out the Torpor, and that's just how we're going to have to live in that Torpor world. But again, it has very little impact on our deck. So it's just creatures. It doesn't even affect, well, that's all it would affect. I think we take the Null Drifter because it's just too big of a deal if it resolves. Okay. And of course, we can kill their, Hull Breacher and stuff. We just have to hope their mana, they don't draw land. They draw land, and it's a Urza Saga. So normally, had I not been cracking my clues desperately to try to find a land, I would actually be able to interact with this and stop him from being able to tap it. But alas. Okay. So I am going to Thoughtseize him again. Let's see, we draw here. Okay, Brainstorm. Brainstorm does flip Tommy. Let's take a look at their hand again. If they can't Hull Breacher, I think we do need to cast this turn. If they have a redundant Torpor Orb, that it doesn't matter. We're not going to interact with that. We don't have any way to remove it. I think we just come in for a hug. And then we flip Tommy. We could go ahead and Thoughtseize just to ensure that this resolves. I think that's fine. Because I can take their force. I think that is a good play. And then we can waste this. Keep them off Hull Breacher for another turn cycle. Okay, I'm going to take their force. I'm going to brainstorm here. Hope to find a land drop. They're brainstorming in response. That is desperation, friends. That is absolute desperation. I feel for them. I do not think that was the correct play. They really want to stop Artamio from flipping, don't they? All right. Well, as Andrea Mangushi says, don't feel bad for your opponent. Again, I will say, I don't know why he says that. I feel bad for my opponents all the time. I feel bad for myself even more frequently. But he does say that. So that's why I'm saying that. Okay. All right. We got some good action here. My goodness. I think we just put back these pushes. They say, GG. We got it. We got it. She flips. They haven't resigned yet, so I'm going to wait until they actually resign. Play that out. I'm going to play out my Tarn. And is there anything else to be done here? Yeah, I'm going to waste this. Just keep them off resources, and I'll pass. Okay, so we've got lots of interaction. We can Pyroblast something, like if they stock up somehow, we can just Pyroblast that. They're going to take a draw. They already know what they're drawing. They said GG. There's the pedal. Are they going to stock up with this? I would love to crush their dreams with the Pyro. We're playing red for a reason, and it's to crush dreams, right? Stock up. Yeah, let's go ahead and Pyro that. It's a pretty good exchange. That is outrageous. They said GG, they kept playing. Okay, we beat them. So that's a 3-2. We got rough matchups, but Lance is not unbeatable. But like, let's be real. Death and Taxes, you're not going to win. The first 2 matches were excellent showcases of my skills, if I may say so. Like, I've been working very hard to be able to beat a player like Quirios. Again, let's take a look. I'm just going to go down memory lane here. Have you heard of MTG The Source? Have you heard of this website? For decades, this was where you went to read about people's different brews. And you can see, like, it's completely dead, unfortunately. Like, Dex to Beat was last updated, like, 6 months ago. This was updated a few months. Yeah, it's super dead. It's sad. I heard somebody else took it over. Like, there was supposed to be new management, but I don't think they could bring back. I think the problem is people just don't want to use forums anymore. Like, there's the instant gratification of having people get notifications through Discord and stuff like that. But, like, in terms of, like, actual arguments about websites, like about deck building and strategy and stuff like that, yeah, there was a lot of, like, toxic, flamey stuff on here. Like, it's from, like, the early 2000s. Like, yeah, you know, withhold some degree of judgment when you hold your nose when you go in there a little bit if you need to. But there are, like, kind of like, again, I don't mean to speak ill of the dead, but there were a lot of douchey people on here too that would just be like, you know, trash talking you. Oh, the strategy's garbage. You know, I seem to remember, like, a lot of contrarian people as well. A lot of people, like, really spending a lot of time kind of theory crafting, but there were also real players. But keep in mind, a lot of this stuff was before the actual, you know, like right now you can just easily have access to information who's doing well with MTGO and stuff like that. And you've got MTG Goldfish, which does an amazing job. Let's take a look for Quirios. Okay, and, like, in order to search, you have to do, like, this sort of stuff. So how do I find username? Quirios. Okay. Not make it an exact name because he might have some additional stuff. But this is where I remember him from, and I got to meet him at Eternal Weekend. Okay, so let's just use Google. Site, MTG, Gold. This is how you do this, by the way, for all the Zoomers who've never used Google before and rely on GPT for everything. Quirios. Okay, and you can see, wait, is it not indexed by Google? I typed the wrong site. Okay. MTG, The Source. Garbage in, garbage out. You got to do the right thing. There we go. Super chill dude. Like, I think he's from Montreal, like, long hair dude. Join date 2010. Okay, so 15 years ago. It's not the 20 years ago that I may have said earlier. But you can see, like, basic, about me. Rock climbing. He's 35 years old, you know, Montreal. Rope access. What does that mean? Does that mean he, like, works at a climbing gym? That's awesome if that's the... Okay. Total posts. That's a lot of posts. That's a lot of opining on legacy action. Again, Quirios, if you're watching this, we love you, dude. Like, I hope I'm not, like, surfacing some cringe here. But let's go to activity. I mean, no recent activity. Like, is there a way to filter? Like, I know he probably hasn't posted in the last year, but come on. Okay, well, we're not going to be able to see. He does have one friend, Ashton Kutcher, apparently Magic's player. Okay, so that's it. That's the show. Why are you still here? Okay, let's talk about the deck. Seriously. So this deck still rocks. I do think that if you have enough blue, you don't necessarily need Merc, and you can just bring in the Barrows. Let me show you what I've been playing in Blue-Black. Actually, I can't show you what I've been playing in Blue-Black because it just doesn't work for some reason. No, it doesn't work for some reason. It's because I think I deleted it. Because I was like, it's not quite what I want to do. Like, what I generally do is I build my decks on MTG, on Moxfield. # not sponsored. I think I'm like the one creator that Moxfield hasn't sponsored. Moxfield, if you want to send me like a check for like $1,000 a month or something, I will talk about you a lot. I do use your product a lot. So this list I think is great, but like I do think that if we have sufficient blue density, which if you take the Merc Tides out, you still have 24 blue cards. That's not great, but like if you take these out and you move these Baragorphs into the main deck where frankly they belong. Baragorph, I am so like 180 on Baragorph. I love Baragorph now. Baragorph is such a menace. Like people will be like, oh, there's a Merc Tide on the other table. I better plow that. But like if you hit them a couple times with Merc and then they find the plow or they find the, Brazen Borrower or whatever. Brazen Borrower is like a huge reason not to play Merc is because you like invest your entire graveyard. The thing I like about Baragorph is it doesn't use your graveyard. Nethergorph does use your graveyard up when you're bringing him back. So it's nice to not crowd out usage of your graveyard. Like Barrowglyph and Netherglyph are very synergistic. They're complementary. So I would say if you did this and just bring the Barrowglyph and just kick, Murktide out to the curb, then you have space for more slots. And one card I would consider doing, Price of Progress, dude. Like, this card is just the best thing you can do against these greedy lands players that are like, oh, I'll win the game on turn 40 after you've sacrificed all your creatures to cradle. And I say that because I played against one of those players last night. Shout out, super chill dude. But he did not concede after I Tamio ultimated, and we didn't have time for game 3 because instinctually, lands players are like, how am I going to lose? I've got Waste Lock and I've got Tamio fixes everything. Any competent player can almost certainly win off drawing half their deck. It does not matter that you have Waste Lock in place. I just drew half my deck and then I got, Harbinger out and just gradually played out my lands and they weren't able to waste me anymore. And then they had a bunch of constructs and I just bounced all their constructs out of play. So that's my thinking on that. So this is a great way to just punish people for playing tons of lands. And granted, we're not a lightning bolt deck, so it's not quite as good as it is, but I do think it could be a slot if we're going to run a red source. The other thing is I really like having a swamp, and I'm not completely sold on this mana base. There are so many times when I wish I could just fetch a basic swamp. So this may be sacrilege, but I think you could do this. I think you could take out an Underground Sea and you can bring in a swamp. And I'm not going to do it because it's actually really hard when you have a creator account because you have to go pick the swamp art you want and everything. But I think that if one of these were a swamp, then you still have 19 lands. I don't know why that. I guess because it's colorless and I sorted by color. So currently this deck has 15 initial blue sources, which is very healthy. I love that. Don't ever change. But at the same time, I'm saying change because having a swamp is a superpower. We're a very black heavy deck. And if we have a swamp, so maybe instead of bringing in Price, we just bring in a swamp and we bring in Harbinger. Harbinger has been really overperforming. You get paired against a random lands player. You're at your F&M and everybody's wanted to show off the tabernacle, right? And when you have Harbinger, it's just so good. It's so solid. But you need a swamp to be able to still win when you have a Harbinger out. So what I would probably do, and also when you're taking out Merc, you have less of a dependence on blue. Let's go get a tasty swamp. All right, this is the swamp I like using right here. This awesome Mirage Swamp. So this is what I would probably play. Oh, we got to make one more cut, don't we? Yeah, I just take out an Underground Sea. Boom, I just saved you $2,000 if you like playing FPB cards. All my lands are FPB. I can't stand playing white border cards. So congratulations. You just saved $2,000 if you want to build this deck. I think this is totally reasonable. Again, 14 blue sources is what the blue-black tempo plays because it plays 1 swamp, 4 wastelands. And so all we're doing is we're swapping out one of these wastelands for functionally a bad lands, and then we're swapping out one of the underground seas for the Volk. So we still have our basic swamp, which is really important. And then we've decreased our dependence on double blue. The only double blue spell in our entire deck is Borrower, unless you're trying to hardcast the Force. And then we do have double blue in these Harbingers, but I love Harbinger. I really think it's a solid sideboard card. And it's really good against Karnforge style decks. It's good against any sort of Urza Saga deck. Urza Saga is kind of on the down tick right now, but it's really strong against it. So I think I'm going to play another league with this build. And then I'll be able to reach for my swamps. And what we'd probably do if that was the case is I'd probably do the thing where we take out 2 of these blue fetches. And presto, instantaneously I've added 2 Bloodstained Mire. So now we have 6 ways to get the swamp, 6 ways to get the island. And if you look, we're almost perfectly split between black and blue. Again, this Kaito will pitch to Force, so you can treat him for a blue card. Treat him as a blue card for these intents and purposes. You could go down a Tamio and bring in some other flex card, but I really like 4 Tamio. I know there were situations where our hand got gummed up with Tamio. There were also games where we won on the strength of Tamio. Tamio giveth and taketh. I'm a huge fan of her, and I think 4 Tommies, 4 Netherglyphs is the way to go, and that's how I'm going to go with this build. Yeah, and I do like Harbinger a lot more than Price of Progress if you can afford it. And now We can't afford it because we have the swamp to be able to cast the other half of our deck. So that is my improvement for the next league. Tune in for the next league. And until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.